Here's another trade proposal.
Yep.
There we go.
For Pete's guy, Trey Hendrickson.
Right, baby.
It's still on the table.
Come on, bring him home.
It's still on the table.
Bring him home.
ESPN's Ben Solik. This is his prediction. Pitch trade efforts. Maz, this is your more
Pete,
trade.
you got that Ryan sent you, Ryan Lentz?
Oh, let me get that for you, Tommy. I didn't know they had sent me something.
This is a trade that what ESPN did is they went in there and they looked at a couple of players. They looked at Kirk Cousins. How many teams will go after Kirk Cousins? And then Trey Hendrickson. So Ben Solak, one of those NFL insiders, put this trade
Actually not a bad
together.
insider.
Nice job by Ryan Lentz, by the way.
Yes, Lency does well.
And it's only draft picks, guys. Read it out to the people that can't see it.
Draft picks now into the contract is received. Lions received Trey Hendrickson and the fifth round pick in 2026 next year's draft. The Bengals will receive a second round pick in this upcoming draft and a fourth round pick in the 2027 draft. Anson.
That sounds light to me.
Sounds like.
But you got to sign him.
Well, and that's why it won't happen.
Right.
That's why it won't happen. They have too many guys on the books next year or coming off the books that they have to commit to. Hutchinson, the JMO conversation, Brian Branch. There's more.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've already heard from Brad in the fact that the only reason he really is even having a conversation about edge rushers is to appease the Lions faithful. And when you look at what you would have to give Hendrickson to get him to accept this deal and come here happily, and then having to commit that much more to Hutchinson on the other side of the line, I've brought this up many, many times. Yeah. There aren't Super Bowl teams that have heavy money dedicated to both sides of their edge rush. They get one superstar, and then they fill in the rest with complementary players. So I love the deal. In terms of what they're giving up, it is certainly light. I would do it in a heartbeat. But the fact is you're going to have to commit a lot of money for many years, and I just don't think that that's in the financial plans of the Lions.
What is it going to take you, Maz and Pete, both you guys, to
get off this?
To be off the Trey Hendrickson wave?
Yeah.
Like, is it going to take once you see pads come on, and maybe you see Davenport in pads, and maybe you see whoever else is going to be on that side in pad? Maybe what you see what this team looks like with Talik Williams.
Here's the deal, man.
Yeah.
In a dream, we're all dreamers. Lion fans. We're all football fans.
That's a beautiful song.
We're
Lions
dreamers.
fans.
We're all dreamers. Sheila's a dreamer.
I'm not the only one.
To have this guy on your line, a guy that's 17 and a half sacks back-to-back years, still a healthy young man, a good man. I hate the thought of him going to a rival team.
Sure.
And I just don't believe the Bengals have enough money. They paid their wide receivers. I don't see a happy ending in Cincinnati for this guy.
Yeah.
So he's going to go somewhere. So I'm a Yankee-Red Sox guy. The Yankees and Red Sox would screw themselves to not allow one of the teams to get a player that the other team wanted. If the Red Sox wanted Alex Rodriguez, they did, and they had him signed. But the Yankees trumped it. And then, of course, the commissioner got involved and swung the deal to the Yankees. These teams that hate each other, that are rivals with each other, that are battling for the World Series, for the Super Bowl, for the NBA title, for the Stanley Cup, you got to protect yourself, too. And I know it's a lot of money. And I know it would cost us maybe Brian Branch or Sam Laporta down the line. Yeah. I know it would. But I think I would do it still to get this guy in Honolulu blue and silver with black accents. I would. I still would. So you're telling me, am I going to look at Marcus Davenport? Yeah, sure. I hope he lasts. He's a good player. He was a former first-round pick. The guy just doesn't stay healthy. I understand he's in the best shape of his life. I get it. And
Only
I pray,
28.
And I pray for him. And I pray that he stays healthy. And I pray that Hutch comes back 100%. But they're just prayers. We don't know what the hell's going to happen. I just don't want Trey Hendrickson to go to the Eagles, the Washington Commanders, or any other damn team, the Bears, the Vikings, the Packers. I don't want to see that.
Pete, what's the worst that could happen if you bring in Trey Hendrickson to the Detroit Lions?
What's the worst that could
What's the worst that
happen?
could
you finish out of the wild card, you miss the playoffs, and everything is a complete bust. That's the worst. But the best thing that can happen is a Super Bowl. And I agree with you, Anson. I hear you. Teams usually only have the one superstar edge rusher. I hear you. This is the Lions. It's not a regular situation, and I get what you're saying, and I think that you're going to play it the smart way. I guess I'm done playing the smart way now. This is about winning championships, getting to that Super Bowl, winning the NFC. Just get to the Super Bowl game, win the Super Bowl game, and you're going to have to do it. This is an all-in moment, and I understand about building for the future, but the Lions have proven in the Super Bowl era, that there is no future because they can't seem to get over the hump. They can't get out of these, they're missing playoffs. They have teams with Barry Sanders and Herman Moore, and they can't do it. Time to do it now. Just bring in the monsters that are going to get the job done. And I hear it. And I wouldn't still be talking about it, Bray. You said what's it going to take for me to get off the subject? I wouldn't still be talking about it if there wasn't a hole in the dike with Alex Anzalone having a contract issue. Now that there's an issue and that that there's extra money that he possibly wants out, I'm still all in on the Trey Hendrickson. I'm with you, Mass.
I'm with you, Pete, too. And I just want to say this, Bray.
Whoa, hold on, man.
Super.
Yeah, I know.
Are you two guys together? You guys on the same wavelength?
We're together.
It's been a very long time since this happened.
We're together, but don't worry, that'll land in a couple hours.
We're talking horse racing or football, guys.
In a couple hours, we'll hate each other.
We'll hate each other. And
Nonetheless,
I love you,
guys,
buddy.
Look, Bray, what did the 49ers have done over the past 5-6 years? They keep adding, and now they got to pay the piper a little, right?
A little.
They got to pay the piper. I mean, their salary cap is trash right now. But look what they've done. And I know they haven't won the whole thing, but come on, man. You wouldn't want your team to be the San Francisco 49ers for the last 5 or 6 years? I want it. I want it bad.
I think one of the things that happens, whether it's fantasy football or whether it's real football, you get on the precipice of a championship and you start trading your future assets.
I get you.
And you throw caution to the wind to make it happen that year. And again, somebody get injured in week 18 in the first round of the playoffs. You just don't know that one player is going to put you over the top. And we've watched the 49ers deplete their future assets and capital by trying to get that 1 or 2 extra players each and every year, which again, as you mentioned, has left them in financial shambles. So to me, I'm just not going to do that. I've watched guys in my fantasy league and teams in the NFL have that happen 2 years in a row, and that's kind of the kiss of death, because now you're doubling down on expediting your future capital and just really not caring what happens to your salary cap, and then all of a sudden you miss the damn playoffs when you're supposed to be a contender. Cartier brought something up in the chat here that I was going to bring up as well. I'm going to expand on his point, and one thing that could happen with this guy is he could be traded to a team that does not extend him, does not give him a deal, and he just becomes a free agent.
Then it wouldn't be a trade. He's not going anywhere if he's not going to get paid.
So that's where I was kind of going. I don't believe that happens in the offseason. Now, let's fast forward to an under 500 team in week 8 at the trade deadline. Joe Burrow's not really happy. The Bengals are struggling, and now they have to get rid of Trey Hendrickson. That trade we put up there, if you get him in mid-season where you're not going to commit to an extension and you let him play out on a contract year where he knows he's going to get paid somewhere, that scenario to me is far more likely, because I'm not sure what the Bengals are asking. I don't think that trade that we put up on there is something that they would accept. I think there's too many other teams that would offer more. I think that's a Detroit Lions fan hope trade. I think that the best scenario for the Lions to actually land Trey Hendrickson would be a trade deadline deal.
But he's not going to play, Anson.
Yeah, I don't think he'll sit out on a contract here.
Right. There's no trade deadline for him, because he will not play for the Bengals unless he gets a new deal or they trade him.
You think he'll sit out?
Well, we saw that
he will sit out. He said it.
Hold on. We saw that happen last year. We saw it happen with Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick was supposed to get paid by the Philadelphia Eagles. They said whoever he trades to, trade him to the New York Jets. He set out.
They screw him too.
He set out until they paid him, and his first game was like week 4.
Yep, later than that.
Yeah, week 7.
Yeah.
So I think this is the energy, and it's not a Trey Hendrickson, a Hassan Reddick. It's not a this or
this
it's not
is the way
that.
it is.
It's the way it is. So I believe wherever he goes, this will be the case for Trey Hendrickson. And
see, I do think it's a Hassan Trey thing. I don't think Trey would sit out a season.
Well, Hassan got paid less money. And that's what he ended up having to take. So
Ayuk, too. Remember what Ayuk did?
Yeah,
he's
Ayuk.
an idiot.
Pittsburgh.
Ayuk didn't take the original deal from the 49ers, made himself look like an idiot,
Yep.
and then went later and took less.
He's the exception to the rule because he's an idiot. Because Trey Hendrickson
Then he
and
got
Hassan Reddick, they have true gripe. They said, I am not going anywhere. It was an agreement. Teams agreed on that, and then they changed it up.
Yeah.
That's not what happened with Brandon Ayuk. He just decided he was a better receiver than he thought he was, and then it ended up biting him into you-know-what. That's what happened with him.
And he destroyed his leg.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see. They're probably the most intriguing team in the NFL this year.
49ers?
The 49ers.
I still think
Because
they got
they're a
enough talent
playoff
to
team.
be there.
Because exactly, what are they? Are they a team that's fighting for the playoffs? Are they this deceptive team? They made some moves with Kyle Shanahan, and they're better than we think. Are they a team that is just completely trash now?
If CMC plays and he's 90%,
Right.
they're right back to where they were. To me,
It's just like Jahmyr Gibbs.
yep.
Essentially,
They
it's
go
like
as he
Jahmyr
goes.
Gibbs, 100%.
They go as he goes.
They said he went to Israel and got some trick knee, so we'll
Don't
see how
sleep
that
on
works.
CMC being the number 1 fantasy back this year. Don't sleep on that. And William also agrees. He sent in a super chat. He's all in on the mock trade. Give him 2 years, $30 million. I don't know if that's enough, but Bray, we have something very special happening in the chat right now.
Talk to him. What's going on in the chat?
We've
Catch
got
me up.
all kinds of people super chatting on behalf of Anakin Sky Ogre
Hey.
as a graduation present. They all want to see him take it home. Michael Wary got in on that. West Coast Lion got in on that. Just a Fan started that trend. So, guys, feel free to keep putting them in for him. And then we had one other one, Teddy Fresh for $5. Rams went all in, won the chip, missed the playoffs once because of the injuries, and we're right back in playoffs. It can be done. And to
where
your
I'm at
point,
with it.
we've talked about that. That's the anomaly, though. When you look at these guys that were traded for multiple first-round picks, there just aren't any championships. And we've always been very careful to say that Matt Stafford is that one great example of where it worked. But it was a quarterback, a signal caller, not a defensive end.
This is true. It always going to be a question, I guess, until the season starts. I think that the Trey Hendrickson move will make them better, but you know what? I like what Dan and Brad have put together. I'm a rock with it. I told you what I said. I said I am very cool with the mad scientist, the evil genius, what he has constructed, what he has put together, bringing the guys back from the injuries of last season, adding them with a couple new depth pieces this year. I'm fine with it until it does not work.
Trust.
I'm fine with it until it does not work.
Yeah, but do you agree with the guru himself, Roger